Hi, welcome to another episode of Financial Pop. Anyone who's seen Arrested Development is very familiar with the title of this episode. There's always money in the banana stand. For those of you who haven't been exposed to the Bluth family, let me give you a little bit of a family history. George, the Bluth family patriarch, built a large and thriving business, or so it seemed. In the first episode, he's arrested and jailed for what amounts to fraud. And the family assets and the business assets are frozen while the case is pending. This leaves his son, Michael, to scramble to try and take care of the family and keep the business running. On a couple of visits to his father in jail, George gives Michael a few hints as to where to find money.
A week before the fire, Michael Bluth was trying to save the Bluth Company, but his father was making it difficult.
I need the flight records. Dad, I'm trying to find some money for the family.
There's always money in a banana stand. I am having a love affair with this ice cream sandwich. You want some?
You are not going to keep running the company from in here, okay? But that's why you wanted me to give T-Bone a job to pay him back for burning down the storage unit?
Michael, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I'm not hiring. No, we don't have the money, Pop.
There's always money in the banana stand.
Back in the day, George got his start selling frozen bananas on the pier. From this humble beginning, he was able to build his large business. Michael assumes George is telling him to go back to the basics and start working the banana stand harder, make more profit to take care of the family. Michael looks at this as unrealistic. The banana stand, may have been a good start for a small family, but now he has to take care of a large family. He doesn't find that this would be a good solution. So in an act of defiance, Michael and his son light the banana stand on fire and watch it burn. It's only after this that George is a little bit more clear on what he meant when he said, "There's always money in the banana stand."
Burn it down.
What?
Let's burn this son of a bitch. Gonna be our best summer ever, buddy.
And so Michael, his son, and his brother together enjoyed the cathartic burning of the banana stand.
You mailed that insurance check, right, Joe?
And Michael finally got to show his father who's boss.
You what?
Burned it right down to the ground.
Are you crazy? There was money in that banana stand.
Well, it's all gone now, Dad, and it was my decision. So the next time you want to have a little power struggle, just remember that you're playing with fire.
There's $250,000 lining the walls of the banana stand.
What?
Cash, Michael.
Why didn't you tell me that?
How much clearer can I say? There's always money in the banana stand!
No touching!
No touching!
No touching!
No touching!
No touching!
No touching!
So what can we learn from this example? Well, communication is key. Miscommunication can be a very expensive mistake, as Michael learned when $250,000 went up in flames. A master communicator, Stephen R. Covey, he had a couple things to say about communication. One is, he says to listen with the intent to understand, not the intent to reply. And what he means by that is, you try to understand what that person is saying. Don't try to come up with your argument against them. And to go along with that, another quote that I really love is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. If you're trying to understand what the other person's saying, they're going to feel that you are giving them the attention that they deserve, that you're trying to actually understand rather than trying to argue with them. And when they feel like they've been heard, they are much more likely to be open to your side of the argument as well. Now, a couple years ago, I found an article on Inc.com that had 5 tips for better communication. I'll put a link to this in the show notes or in the notes of this vlog here. But these 5 tips are: number 1, always know the why. When you're trying to communicate, know what you're trying to get across and why you're trying to get that information or get that information to the other person. what you're trying to accomplish. Number 2, communicate emotions in person. So if you're trying to communicate something emotional, don't do it by email. If you can't do it face to face, do it over the phone. Let them hear your voice. Emotional communication is not effective via email. The subtleties of emotional communication don't allow for email to be effective. Number 3, the opposite of that is communicate facts via email. If something that you're communicating to someone is very fact driven, for example, I deal a lot with insurance and finances and things like that. A lot of the minutia that goes into that is something that normal people are going to forget. Yeah, I deal with it day in and day out, so I may not forget, but email is a great way to have a written record of what was communicated. So when they forget, they can go back to it and refer to it. Number 4, listen more than you talk. Let the other person talk. Going back to Covey, seek first to understand. Listen to them. Find out what their needs are, what they want, and things like that before you talk. That will make them feel like you are actually listening. It will also make it so that you don't have to talk as much. So you can actually listen more than you talk. And number 5, simplify your message. Keep it simple. Going back to the old acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Keep your point quick and to the point. Now, as you may have already seen, I struggle with that sometimes. I'm someone who likes a lot of detail. Sometimes I give too much. But these are 5 things that I'm working on, 5 things that I think are effective to help us all communicate better. And remember, communication is key. Miscommunication can be very expensive. I challenge you to start working on these, implement them in your life, and see how much better your communication can be. Thank you for joining me here, and I will see you soon.